Hello and welcome to Michigan Alternate Route to Certification's hybrid seminar course. This seminar course has been designed for Teach for America Detroit core members that are maintaining their interim certification via participation in EMARC, along with our additional endorsement candidates seeking an additional endorsement to be added to their standard or professional teaching certification. I have a couple of objectives for today, and those are to provide you with an overview of our 3-week cycle model, along with giving you a tour of our online course in Canvas, and lastly, giving you a brief overview, an introduction to Module 1, so that you are familiar and ready to start working right away. So this is what our 3-week cycle for seminar will look like. During week 1, we will have our whole group session at U of M Dearborn on selected Tuesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. and those sessions will be led by a content expert on the various outcomes that are being presented. We will then, on the week 2, meet online, so that's why we're calling this a hybrid course, and we will meet online both independently and for synchronous conferences with our content groups. So if you're a science teacher, you'll be meeting with other science instructors in that synchronous conference medium. What's important to know though is that we are treating the online component as a flipped model, meaning that we want you to engage in independent coursework for the first hour of your 2-hour commitment during week 2, so that you can come to the group discussion prepared and ready to be supported, and so that that session doesn't have to be a traditional lecture, so to speak, but you can participate in a self-guided lecture during that first hour. And it's also important to know that you have the ability to participate in that independent coursework whenever you would like to between the end of week 1 and the beginning of week 2. In other words, you'll have a week-long period that you can access the lecture, but what's important is that you are for sure complete with the activities by 7 p.m. because during week 2 on Tuesdays from 7 to 8 is when the synchronous conferences will be hosted. And then to wrap up a cycle during week 3, you will complete an independent reflection, reflecting on the outcome that was covered during weeks 1 and 2. So now that I've had a chance to talk about our cycle, I'd like to navigate over here to our seminar course for EMARC. So this is Canvas, and over here we have our navigation tool. So just kind of working a little backward here, if I go to my dashboard, it will show the courses I'm enrolled in. I want to click EMARC seminar course. On the left, I have our toolbar that will take us to the various parts of the course. So home will show you all the modules. Right now we just have module 1. Modules will also take you to the same spot. If there are course announcements, those will be located here. If we have any assignments, which you can see, I have a cloud integrated assignment here that's Canvas specific, those will be located here. If we ask you to participate in a discussion forum, you'll go to discussions. Grades are available, however, most grades will be located in Chalk and Wire, but we might have an occasional assignment assessed within here, so if we do, the grades will be there. If you need to reach specific classmates or instructors, that can be located under People. Directing you over here to our syllabus, this is where you will find our course syllabus once it is available. If we have quizzes, they'll be located here. And the other main thing I want to point out here is conferences. So conferences sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing there. Conferences is our main area for our synchronous sessions. So you'll want to make sure to navigate over here from 7 to 8 p.m. and click join in order to join that group conference. Okay, so now that I've given you a tour of Canvas, I'd like to go back to our first module and talk a little bit about what you'll be doing. So each module will have a objective page to start. So if you go here, you can see our Module 1 objectives, and it also includes our MARC scoring scale so that you can get a sense of what it means to be insufficient, beginning, developing, and embedded, and keeping in mind that we really expect first-year teachers to be in this beginning range and second-year teachers to be in the developing range here. And we'll include an outcome description so that you can familiarize yourself with or refamiliarize yourself if you're a year 2 participant with what outcome this module is covering. Okay, so that is the first page, and that will be on each module. In addition, we will have a roadmap that is available that explains to you what you need to do. So here you can see you need to complete Module 2 lecture activities no later than 7 p.m. and then from 7 to 8 participate in a synchronous conference, and then finally complete Reflection 2 by the following week. So here is Module 1 lecture. I've noted here that it shouldn't take no more than an hour to complete, but be sure you're done by 7 p.m. I have an introduction video for you to watch on this topic, along with some text to read, a brief TED Talk to look over, some ideas for you to think about for your classroom, and then a little bit of information about a resource that we use heavily within MARC, which is Teach Like a Champion by Doug Lemov, and that moves us into talking about our program rubric and the assignment that we're asking you to engage in, which is quite brief, and what it is just taking a closer look at MARC's program rubric. So if you'll click here, and that will take you to our program rubric, and then you will be able to think about these questions as you look at the program rubric. And it says here that we'll want to navigate over to our assignment tab to answer these questions when looking at the program rubric. So if you go again up here to assignments, you can open our MARC seminar journal, which contains the questions that we are asking you to look at. And you can go ahead and answer these right in here and submit them to your instructor. So let's move back over to the module again, and just want to point out that at the bottom we'll always point out what's required within the module and what's optional within the module. Alright, so moving on to the next page, this just is reminding you of when our group conference session is held, and be sure to go to the conference tool over here when it is 7 o'clock on that specific day. If your instructor, your content-specific instructor that is, has added supplemental content that is related to your content area, that will be located here. And then lastly, we have our reflection assignment, and this is the detailed assignment that you've already received in person, along with the rubric on how you're scored. And it's important that you make sure to submit this via Chalk and Wire, which will be linked up in Canvas at that time. And that is it for our Module 1 lecture overview. And just be sure to reach out if you have any questions.